What's going on, YouTube? I want to do a quick Q&A. These are all questions that I keep receiving about the DF64V grinder. And I'm just going to run through the questions as they came in. So, is this a good deal at 600? Time War 78 seems to be a better deal. That's really up to you. The DLC burrs, I mean, they're SSPHU quality, if not better. Very quiet brushless DC motor. It's a 300 watt motor. It's variable RPM. I mean, in my opinion, this thing is small. It's built like a tank. I think this is probably the better one, but I've not had the Time War one yet, so I guess we'll see. I think this is the better buy. So I think this is more of a statement. I think it's pretty reasonable at the price, a bit higher than just the regular DF64, but less expensive than the DF83. So it probably depends on the features looking for. I think that's a good observation that someone made. The DF83, you get the 83 millimeter burrs. It's a little bit more expensive, I think by $100. It kind of depends on if you're getting any early bird sales or anything like that. But you're getting the variable speed. If you're looking for more of like your drip grinder, but you want to do espresso, you're going to be able to flip back and forth with this. The cleaning ability on this is just stupid cool. It works so good. The adjustable mechanism for adjusting your burrs is really awesome. The bellows, it's small. You about don't need it, but you can give it a little pump just to get out any residual ground. So yeah, I think this thing's awesome. It's steel. The lower RPMs, it's gonna be good for like your filter coffee. We'll go over that here in a minute. So let's see. People have asked, what's the price on this? It's $599 US. The RPM, does it show a random number or is it the actual RPM? If we were to spin this around, I know the refresh on this camera, you can kind of see it. We're set on 1800, so this is in RPMs. It's probably not exact, but it's pretty close. And it goes in 100 RPM increments. I know one of the questions that we're getting to here in a minute, what's the lowest, is 500. This is an infinite dial, so if you keep spinning it, it just keeps going. And then if you go to 1800, that's where it stops. So it's 500 to 1800 RPM in 100 RPM increments. So next one, kind of already went over this. Is it a brushless motor? Yes, it's a brushless motor. It's a 300 watt DC brushless motor. Variable RPM. Let's see. Is the chute perhaps compatible with other DF machines? The answer is no. This is specifically made for this machine. And what's really cool about this is it is all magnetic. So that chute, the top chute comes off. I ran it earlier on a different video without this cover, and it really didn't make hardly any mess at all. But if you want to do a little bit deeper cleaning, they're both removable. But no, it will not fit on the other DF models, at least as they're designed today. So it is not compatible, just for this grinder. What does the V stand for? The V, again, is the variable speed. So that's what the V stands for. Does it include a metal dosing cup? Yes. It has this wooden base to start with that you place in the front. And then you have a metal dosing cup. This metal dosing cup, it's really nice. It has an O-ring. It's not just gonna like stick to your portafilter, but it definitely fits your portafilter very nice. So, oops. Nice dosing cup for sure. What is DLC and what is the difference? I've seen it two different ways, diamond-like coating and diamond-like carbon. I'll do a separate video on this. I've actually already shot it, so look through my YouTube and I'll be getting it up if it's not up yet. It is a coating that makes it just very hard. I don't have the stats in front of me, I wish I had them, about the burr longevity. So you're gonna get a burr that lasts a lot longer. And when I looked at all the SSP burrs that I had, it is most like the SSP HU burr. It's almost an identical cut pattern. This one, it's kind of more of a black coating where the SSP is the titanium nitride coating, but really more that matters to me is the cut geometry than the coating. The coating can be less of a big deal. The DLC is cool because it's much harder, which is what that titanium nitrate offers as well. But I really want a good cut geometry more than anything. What colors? It comes in black. This is the aluminum or silver, and then there's a charcoal. So the charcoal, in my opinion, is kind of like the dark iPhone color, where the silver, this is the silver, is more of like a neutral aluminum color, and then there's the actual black color. I have the DF64, so what's the big deal with RPM adjustment now? So with lower speeds, you should have less fines, and this could be really desirable for your V60 and Chemex and drip coffee, filter coffee, maybe AeroPress. So if you bump those RPMs way down and you're not looking for those fines in your cup, it may not be what you want for espresso, but if you do want to, instead of having it, I ran it at 1200 RPM today, and at least the limited coffee that I had today had a really nice smooth texture, nice mouthfeel. So it really changed the cup of coffee, I thought. Too new for me to really say that it wasn't a fluke or just those beans, but I was really impressed. I really could tell a difference. I don't know if everyone will be able to tell a difference, but I could tell a little bit of difference. So the high RPM, you're going to get more body and bitterness. The low RPM, you're going to get higher flavor clarity and less fine. So that's what the big deal is with the RPM adjustment. Will there be a white one? The answer is no. The white paint, like you can see on this DF83 in the background, white is always a pain. So like I have my Porta Keepers that are injection molded plastic. There's lots of rejects. There's lots of just minor defects because the smallest little thing just ruins it. So at least as far as I've been told from the manufacturer, they're not doing white. This is going to be the black, the charcoal, as they put it, and then this aluminum or silver. So pretty cool. The next one, someone said, but it needs SSP burrs, and we've kind of gone over that already. In my opinion, it has SSPHE burrs in it already. So almost, I would say, the same cut geometry. It might even be from the same factory. Don't quote me on that. I know a lot of the burr manufacturers, they go to a lot of the same manufacturers for that. So I think that they're pretty close to the SSP burrs. So are they a towel mill burrs? No, they are not a towel mill burrs. I don't know the brand. I'll have to get back to you on the brand, but they're very high quality. They might just be specifically made for Turin. Which grinder and burrs of your choice would be for a traditional medium to dark roast coffee? I don't know. I mean, I think that your flat burrs can be really good. If you're wanting to go dark, sometimes I like more of the conical grinder, like this Turin SD40 off to the side, especially if it's for filter coffee. If it's for dark espresso, I mean, I just really can't stomach it. It's not my thing. So that's a hard one for me to answer. My opinion, and I know a lot of people probably aren't going to like this opinion, is I have different grinders for different coffees. So usually I run this DF64E. It has the MP multi-purpose SSP burrs in it. It does light roast extremely well. If I want like more everyday middle of the road, and when I say middle of the road, that's not a bad thing. I use this DF83. And when I say middle of the road, it doesn't really excel at light or dark. It does them all quite well. So my answer to that would probably be like the DF83. If they're extremely oily, sometimes these flat burrs do gum up. So that'd be something to watch out for. Is there an ETA for the next release? The pre-release has already been sold out. The next release after that, I believe, is May or June. Again, don't quote me on that. And a lot of that is dependent upon the supply and shipping. So they have to go through import and they have to go through customs and all that. And there's a lot of things to slow them down. I can tell you, if you wanted to get in the first bunch of pre-release, they're gone. So I think that they're going to sell out the second release before maybe even the first ones even show up. In your honest opinion, would you go with the DF83 or the DF64V? For preference, a medium to large dose and specifics, but just your overall opinion. So, yeah, that's an interesting question. Yeah, and I kind of touched on it already. It depends on what you want. I think that this could be very capable of some medium roasts and do very well at it. I think I'd probably stick to the DF83 if you're wanting maybe really dark stuff, or one of these conical like SD40s for the really dark. I think conical and really dark, at least in my experience, work well for me. If I was going to choose between the V and the 83, that'd be a really tough one. I really like the DF83, like really like it. It doesn't have the absolute most clarity of any grinder that I've used, but it has a lot of clarity and a lot of body. Let's try to pull this out. So it has a lot of clarity and a lot of body, where the V, I think so far I've gotten a lot more body and a fair amount of clarity just from adjusting the RPM. So that's pretty cool to me. I'm not going to go like super slow for espresso. I'm sure I'm going to try it. We got to try it, right? But that's a hard one. I mean, it's really a personal preference thing. This is a much larger grinder, so space is an issue. This is a lot smaller grinder. I think this is pretty outstanding for espresso, and this is going to be amazing for espresso. You're going to get everything that you want out of espresso, except you're going to be able to also get all your drip stuff. So if you want to do that low RPM drip setting, you're going to get lots of clarity, really good V60 or Chemex. Chemex is already a very clean method for me, and I'll use like my Ditting 804, and it just has extremely clean coffee. It's almost to the point of too clean. So I think that this V, I'll probably get a nice middle of the road with less fines. That lower RPM is pretty cool. Anything else I need to mention? Those are the main questions that I've been asked so far. So if you have more questions, those are the repeat questions. Some of them were one-offs, but I wanted to answer these questions just because people keep asking, and I just want to be able to put a video out. This thing's built like a tank. There's additional videos that show kind of the build, construction, and how it works. Today I pulled a couple shots. I did a couple live videos. So I usually don't get like super excited about new grinders, at least in a while. The DF83 I got really excited about when I got it. Really love that thing. This has been the first grinder I've gotten pretty excited about in quite a while. The build quality is next level. All the niche people, man, I think for 600 bucks, I mean, it's the same price. The niche has been killed, I think, by the 64. I know a lot of people like the conical. That's fine. I'm not going to tell you not to go buy the niche. But if I was paying 600 bucks and I had the niche and this side by side, which I have had, and I might have to do again, this thing is next level. It is built amazing. It's beautiful. It's going to look great on your counter. It's not big. It's probably about the same size as the niche. It's not much bigger than this Turin SD40, which if you haven't seen this in person, this thing is small. Your traditional DF64, you can kind of see right there. I mean, it's a lot smaller, but it takes the same burrs. It is, I would say, probably one of the quietest grinders I've ever used. My daily driver is an Atom 75, which I would say is probably the quietest grinder I'm actually going to do a side-by-side with this in my Atom here soon because this thing is quiet. Without beans in it, that's running. That's running full speed. You can't hear it. So, except for when you put beans in, the beans are going to crunch around and make noise. But from a motor standpoint, there's the DF64 and the DF83. That is running, if you can't hear it. Now it's off. So, again, if you have any questions, subscribe. We're going to be posting all sorts of stuff on this grinder. We have a lot of Kaleido roaster stuff that we're doing too. So we're doing lots of roasting and sharing some information about these roasters. We have all 4 of them in house, so we've been testing those out. Make sure to check out the Kaleido roaster website. If you're not a part of our group on Facebook, Home Espresso Aficionados, you're going to see the latest and greatest there probably first, more than you see anywhere else if you don't subscribe to our other pages. So again, thank you for watching. Have a good one.